Okay. I gotta say, this whole design, though, is pretty fucking lovely. Jesus. Christ. Yeah, so let's continue on. Let's soldier on, as it were. And talk to a certain witch. A Wiccan. Let's see here. Follow the path. Follow the path. Good news is, though, that... Well, I don't know quite. Not just yet. Anyhow, I'm just thinking ahead of it. I believe the witch was here, was she not? And let's hope we don't get sap soup sibbity zooped this time. Go through here, and there we are. Let's check in with our servants, or yeah, our kingdom, I suppose. The pumpkin patch.
The king returns! What is thy bidding, your highness?
Give me a situation report. What shape is the kingdom in?
Years of neglect has left the kingdom in a dire state. Our enemy at the south is amassing its army along the border. I'm afraid an attack might be imminent, sire.
What do you suggest?
Build a fortification line along the border. We must not let the land be overrun.
Let's send troops.
Very well, sire.
What else?
The state is almost bankrupt, sire. Mounting expenditures have left us in heavy debt.
What do you think we should do about it?
Increase taxes to refill the state's coffers. We can ease up once we're out of trouble.
Increase taxes by 2%.
Very well, sire.
What else?
Our citizens are growing uproarious. Talk of revolt is spreading fast.
What do you suggest?
Place soldiers on the city streets. That should quell the rebellious urge.
Okay. Appease the citizens with a loaf of bread per family.
Very well, sire.
What else? We don't have any allies. If war was to break out, we would stand alone. What do you suggest? Send envoys to our neighboring countries. Start forging alliances. Yeah, send envoys to all neighboring countries, except our enemies to the south.
Very well, sire.
What else? Yeah, they will not last long in a proper battle, okay? What do you think we should do about it?
Reinstate the draft. Start making soldiers out of young men.
Okay, these are hard choices, man. Pumpkin Kingdom. Jesus. Pumpkin Patch, I mean. Enlist all able-bodied men of over the age of 18, sure.
Very well, sire. That's it, my liege. There's nothing more to report.
Cool.
We'll safeguard your kingdom in your absence, sire.
Sweet. Well, I am glad to see my kingdom is in competent hands. That's for sure. Who's there? It's Victor Neff again, ma'am.
We're stubborn, are we? You have 3 seconds to get off my porch, or I'll fling you to one of the corners of this forest.
Lady of the Woods, Lady of the Forest sent me here.
Oh? Why didn't you say so right away? Come in, child.
Thanks. Well. Let's talk to the old hag. Hello.
So you're a friend of Selma's. Excuse me if I don't get up, but the organ thief paid me a visit a couple of nights ago. The pain is only bearable as long as I don't move.
By all means. Sorry if I was a bit intrusive earlier.
It's me who should be apologizing, dear. I mistook you for a member of the mob. They used to send new recruits my way. Sometimes I had to straighten them out.
They don't anymore?
No. I was their prime suspect for a while. But someone from their squad was attacked while others were spying on me. That gave me an ironclad alibi. They eased off a bit after that. Now, what can I do for you, Victor?
I need to traverse a rather big obstacle. Can you teach me how to fly or anything like that?
I'm afraid not, dear. That sort of magic takes years to learn. I might have a recipe for a potion that could help you.
Potion, sure.
The only problem is that I'm not allowed to teach magic to the uninitiated. The havoc you might cause could be catastrophic.
How do I become initiated?
It's not that easy, child. Magical aptitude is not something which can be learned. You either have it or you don't.
How do I know I have it?
Have you ever made strange things happen? Have you made things float on thin air? Or turned one object into another?
No.
Then you're out of luck. I can't teach you unless you show me something sufficiently impressive. Those are the rules.
Well, okay, goddammit. We'll have to find some way of impressing the old hag. So what we need to do is, well, yeah. We'll have to kind of move from this world to the next without exiting the old-fashioned way. That is, move from Selma Theed's dream to Mr. Morton's dream. Right now that is a bit of a pain, but we will quickly fix that, hopefully. So here we go. To the wall. Well, this chapter really seems Game of Thrones inspired. There's a wall, and there's a house. And well, yeah, family names are mentioned, are spoken of as a house, not a family surname, as it were. So yeah, I think I know where someone has taken their inspiration from. Of course, the whole chapter is exactly like Game of Thrones, also, or maybe not. What we want to do, though, is combine the twig and yarn combination with our bow. It's better than nothing, I guess. So we want to try and shoot this into the passage. And hey, we've never shot a bow before, but we are pretty damn good at our shooting. The twig seems to be stuck on the other side of the wall. I'll secure the yarn on this end. Cool. There, that should hold it, hopefully. So yeah, we now have a connection between the two dreams. A physical connection. Unfortunately, we can't enter that dream from this side, so we'll have to exit the old-fashioned way, which takes a while. I'm just going to fast forward to actually having exited. So yeah. And there we go. So, time to enter Mr. Morton's dream. Oh, shit. We need a certain helmet, of course. Let's see here. There we go. Oh, didn't mean to do that, but okay. So, sender device on Mr. Willard. Sorry, Mr. Morton. What am I talking about? There we go. And we can now enter Mrs. Theed's dream. The twig is safely secured, of course. And here is another game design choice that I don't understand why it's in. He starts crawling, 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 riveting. I know, 5 minutes later. Sweet. Crawling, 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 and we're there. So, okay, they spared us 5 minutes, but it almost still takes, I would say, close to 1 minute. Well, not 1 minute, not one full minute, I suppose, but yeah. It takes a bit more than it has to. Right. Should have sized him up before we went through there. There we go. And there's all this walking. Jesus Christ. Follow path. Yeah, I'll meet you at the witch's house. And here we are. God damn. Alright, so you may notice we have the items from Mr. Willard's dream now. We don't have a lot of the other items. So, but at least we may put on a show in front of the witch with these items. So let's shrink down. That's it, child. Seems you know magic after all. Pretty impressive stuff, I might add. What type of ingredients did you use for that potion? Rosemary and rose petals? Stuffed animal fur? Hold on, I'll show you. Yay, what you drag it. I used this gun. That's unlike anything I've seen before. Pretty sweet, eh? You don't know how you got hold of such a thing. I don't know how you got hold of such a thing, but I suggest you be careful with it. Fear and doubt emanates from it. So, will you teach me the potion you mentioned earlier? Of course, dear. But making it will be tricky. I am out of ingredients. Figures. All of the ingredients can be found here in the forest. Here, let me give you a recipe. Yay, we have a recipe. Come back here once you found them and I'll instruct you how to make the brew. Thanks. And whoop whoop whoop, off we go. So what we need is burnt lime, fire, acorn, spirit, dove egg, air, fresh grave dirt, earth, water lily stamen. Water... yeah. Cool. So let's get gathering. The first one we need is very close by, so that's good. Examine the nest. A dove has built a nest on the roof of the hut. I think I can see eggs in it. So we'll climb here, take a egg. And off to whatever we go. Right. Next well, I'll meet you at the squirrel Don't you just love fetch quests? Mm-hmm. Well, let's see if we can convince him of giving us some acorns. Hello again. I'm looking for something. Like what? Did you mention acorns earlier? My treasure? My holiest of holies? What's it to you? I need one for a recipe. Just one? You sure? I only need one. Well, I suppose I can spare one acorn. I mean, it's only taken me all year to collect them. I'll probably be alright with what I got. If the winter isn't too harsh this year. So where do you keep them? In my nest at the foot of the trunk. You'll have to get it yourself, though. I can't move with these old maimed legs. Well, that's fine. We do need one other item, though. So let's go to Mrs. Theed's house. Here we go. Let's try and borrow some more yarn. Can I borrow some yarn? Sure. Go for it. Thanks. Well, let's check in here. How's he doing? He's stable. He's lost a lot of blood during the night. He'll live, but I'm glad I got here when I did. From what I hear, I've got to thank you for that. Think nothing of it. If you should ever come by again, you will find yourself a most welcome guest in our home. We don't have riches, but we make up for it with charm and good looks. Selma here is the jewel of the family. Between you and me, I'll have you know she's not yet spoken for. Grandpa? You can't blame me for trying. I'm afraid I am spoken for. See what I mean, Selma? If you wait too long, the good ones get snatched. Speaking of which, I should probably get going. You do that, son. Well, alrighty. Good old family dynamic there. So, back to the squirrel we go! And here we are. So, let's use our shrinky-rinky-dinky gun to shrink down. Enter the... How did you become so small? That's amazing! I've never seen magic like that before. Well, good for you. This is our life, man. This is our breakfast, you know. So, this place certainly looks... Well, I guess it looks squirrely. And here's some acorns. They are pretty much, well, almost our own size though, so the acorn is too big to pick up and too heavy to roll uphill. How am I supposed to get it out of here? What we'll have to do is tie it to the yarn, or tie the yarn to it, I suppose. I've tied the yarn around the acorn. So... we'll take the yarn outside here. Oh, exit. And we should very easily be able to... Yeah, I'll drop the yarn here. To... pull the yarn, or pull the acorn out. That's a really impressive trick you got there. You should take that on the road. You'll make millions. I'll be your manager. What do you say? I'll think about it. And we've got our acorn. I'll pull the acorn out of the hole. Good for you. Sweet. Alright, so let's check our next thing. We have burnt lime, water lily stamen, and fresh grave dirt. Well, we do know someone who's occupying a grave currently, so let's go to the knight. And here we are. So let's see if we can wake up our old buddy, but the soil is still wet on top. I guess it won't hurt if I take
Ah! My old friend, what are you doing here?
Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you.
That's alright. I wasn't sleeping to begin with.
Oh.
No. Something is wrong. My soul can't rest here, I'm afraid.
What seems to be the problem?
As you might have noticed, there's no marker on my grave. Once this mound grows over, there'll be no way of telling I was ever buried here. Nowhere for my admirers to mourn and pay their respects. That's why I can't sleep.
You want me to find you a grave marker?
Would you do that for me? It can't be any old cross, though. I want something to commemorate whom I was in life. Something with stature and radiance.
I'll see what I can do. Well, we do have this stick or staff that we don't really need anymore.
Oh, what's that? I've never seen something quite like it before.
It's an artifact I found in another dream.
An artifact from beyond dreams. I like the sound of that. That is a suitable marker for my grave. You fulfilled my task. I can finally rest easy, knowing I won't be forgotten. Now I can finally find peace and the eternal embrace. All my blessings, my dear friend.
Well, good for you. Yeah, so let's make sure we take some dirt here. And off to the lily pond.